Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'd like to thank all my subscribers. There's been a lot of subscribers in the last month. I really appreciate each and every one of you for joining the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. Set that notification bell on all so you'll be notified whenever a new video drops or if we go live. And smash that like button. Maybe you'd like to take a minute or a second real quick just to smash that like button, show some support for the channel, or sometime during the video, smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It would really help us out in the algorithm. Since I've been asking this, the videos have been recommended more. So all of you who've been doing that, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was thinking about this situation where these two rappers got hemmed up as part of this indictment that just happened in San Diego, right? And I was looking at some of Payaso's videos this morning. He's pretty good, you know. I like the way he gets down. There's probably some other rappers that I like more than him, but he was getting it done, you know. And I believe he had a future, you know. He could have done something. And like a lot of young people, man, and that are coming up in that area, in the rap scene, you know, they have good futures ahead of them. But unless they separate themselves somewhat from the old life, that new life is never gonna be able to really evolve into what it could really become. You know, it's just a fact of life. You know. Even the rappers that become very, very powerful and popular. Look at Diddy, man. Look at that idiot. You know, he had everything, and threw it all away, acting the fool. You know, because he couldn't get right. You know, and there's a lot of young rappers, and they're the ones that I would be more concerned with. Is a young rappers, both black, Chicano, whatever nationality, but all these young men that are coming up in the rap game. You know, if they would only focus more on their profession and, you know, kind of separate themselves from that other life to see how far they can go. Unless they do that, it just makes it almost impossible for them to reach their full potential. Anyways, what I'm getting at, though, has nothing to do with rap, has nothing to do with the two rappers that got caught up in this indictment, or any rappers at all. Watching his videos today made me think about things, you know, things that I've been through in the neighborhood. And I remember one time telling my homeboys, hey, you know what? You know, we got to be careful, man, because they got eyes on us, you know? Now, I never messed around with methamphetamine or any hallucinogenics that get your mind all twisted up. Well, I would be hallucinating or be paranoid. You know, not even smoking crack, nothing. You know, that would make my mind take me there to where I think, oh, we're being watched. You know. It just seemed obvious to me by the way the law enforcement was treating me, myself, and all of us in general, you know. I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm not doing this video to encourage gang activity or to, you know, I ain't trying to give game to the younger homies so that, you know, that they could move differently or anything, but just sharing this because I realized when it was happening to us and maybe happening to a lot of other people that get caught up in this lifestyle, you know. Anyways, let me tell you. So there was a time when I had told my homeboys, hey, you know what? They got eyes on us, man. You know, they're watching us for something. You know, something's going on. And you think so? Nah, homie. I don't think so. This and that. Why you think that? And I told him, I says, look, You know, I've been approached by juras that call me by my nickname that I've never talked to. How do they know my name? How do, apparently they must be talking about me, bringing my name up or something, or somebody from the neighborhood's dropping names or something. But I haven't had any encounters with them in years. Why are they calling me by my nickname or by my last name? They recognize who I am and stuff. And then a couple of other homies, younger homies, said, yeah, they did that with me too. And I tripped out on that. And I says, yeah. I says, that's because they're watching and they're talking and they're sharing information with each other. That's part of their job, especially if they're part of the gang unit. But this wasn't gang unit activity. This was just law enforcement activity in general. So one day, another example, we get in this fight in this store. Okay, the store's called Los Compadres. It was one of the hood stores. It's not there anymore. The owner sold it, and they've since knocked it down. But anyways, at this store, we got into it with a guy and a girl. And it was a big old desmadre, in my neighborhood, if you're not from my neighborhood, you can't fight with my homeboys. Even if you're not from another neighborhood. If you get into it with one of my homeboys and there's other homeboys there, you're gonna get packed out, And it's just the way it is. You can't just you can't get a fair one. Unless you're a homie, yeah, you're gonna get a fair one. But anybody else, the minute that you you act up, probably gonna get smashed. You get packed out on sight, In any case, that took place inside this store. They had cameras inside the store. Big old melee. So the dude that was with this girl was fighting and moving towards the back of the store. And his old lady stood in the front of the store arguing with one of my homegirls. So then they get in, they start getting into it. My homegirl smashing the Jaina, and the vato's getting his ass kicked all through the store, knocking shit over, and and it went on for a long time. When it was finally over and everybody's leaving, we could see the cops flying over there. Bunch of cop cars coming from all directions, full speed, headed towards the store. Then the helicopter, right? So we sent somebody over to peep it out, right? See what's going on. And they pretty much are going in with AKs, they got their helmets and shields, and they're marching into the front of the store, the back of the store, the helicopter circling the store, shining the light. Big old pedo, right? And we're all on camera. Everybody, okay? I took off. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to the pad, I'm thinking they're going to end up coming to the house and scooping me up. So I'm going to go and, take care of whatever I got to take care of. And maybe go get a hotel for the night or whatever I'm going to do, Thinking that they're going to watch the film and they're going to know who was involved and they're going to do what they're going to do, right? For that much activity, that kind of response, you would think they spend all those resources going in there. Must have been a serious call. Anyways, nothing ever happened to it. Next day, a few of us were there at the store, and by the weekend, normal program. We were all up in the corner right there kicking it. That was just a spot where we kicked it. And we had another spot down the street. And I told everybody, I says, man, this is bullshit. They didn't go after nobody for that pedo that happened in the store. They're trying to do something. They're trying to do something big. They're not just. They don't just want an arrest for fighting in public or assault and battery. they're trying to figure things out in a different level, you know. And incident after incident would happen, and I kept saying it and kept saying it, you know. Get pulled over, you know, drunk, all drunk, with beer in the car, drinking. Boom, we get pulled over, and you know, a homie on parole, another homie on probation with a 9-clip bracelet. You know what I mean? And they let us all go. They don't even throw our beer away. You know, we drive off, get back in the car with our beer, and we bone out. You know, something's wrong with that scenario. You know, they got a no arrest order on somebody or someone or everyone, you know, to let somebody go under that situation. You know what I mean? You know, we had fierros, you know, no, you know, nothing bigger than that. But my point is, you know, both were in violation. Both were with gang members. You know, there's knives in the car. Everybody's drunk. You know, you're not supposed to be with other gang members. You know, just all kinds of reasons to get violated. No, they let everybody go. And then they started with the pictures, you know, pulling people over, taking pictures of tattoos, going around taking pictures of the writings on the walls. And finally, I guess they got enough information to do what they had to do, and they did this raid on the Ashman Hotel, and swept up all kinds of homies. You know, they walked out of there with rifles, with you know, smaller bangers and stuff. You know, gang of homies gaffled up. You know, and pretty much dismantled what was going on during that period in the neighborhood with the homies that were involved with what was going on. You know what I mean? I mean, they changed the whole face of that corner there, you know. And a lot of homies got locked up and ended up doing time. But they took everybody in one shot, you know. And then came the raids, the gang raids, you know. And were hitting different houses. That's when they hit my house, and they took me in for that little banger I had in my pad, you know. But they were waiting, you know, and they tried to make a big case out of it. When they went to my house, the warrant was looking for large quantities of methamphetamine or other drug. They asked me if I had any firearms, rifles, or any, you know, of that stuff in the house. Large amounts of money, you know, and you know, they got a big quack. They didn't find none of that. You know what I mean? But that's where their head was at. That's what they were thinking, you know. And they were investigating something that they thought was bigger and deeper than it actually was, you know. And I knew it. I knew they were working on something, man. They were letting us go too often. They were knowing our names and stuff. Officers I have never even seen, you know, will come and talk to me like if they knew me, you know. So I'm sure probably during their briefings and stuff, they had discussions about the activities and the individuals that they suspected were doing things and were involved in certain things, you know. A lot of times, man, you're so caught up doing what you're doing that you don't pay attention to the signs, you know. And a lot of times, you know, you see strange people parked in front of your house, you know, and they're just sitting there. You go in your house and you come out and they're still sitting there. They don't live on that block. Like, really, like, it's obvious what they're doing. You get used to it and you spot it after, going through it enough times. You recognize stuff like that right away. And, but people who don't know, they just don't know. People who don't have that type of a street experience, that they would never see it. They would never really catch on, Yeah, a lot of people disappeared from the neighborhood very quickly after the first raid on the Ashman, and a couple went to the feds. Most of them went to the state. Yeah, it's sometimes it's obvious, man. You got to keep your eyes and your ears open, and the reason why I'm saying this is that if anybody is noticing something like that happening, man, like if this thing's lighting a light bulb up in your head, I take it for what it's worth, Maybe you need to pump the brakes and you need to reevaluate what you're doing and what you're caught up in, and start thinking about some of the ramifications that might head your way for the actions that you're committing, whatever activities that you're doing or whatever you might be involved in. Maybe it might be time to just stop, make a change. A lot of those homies are getting out now. It's been some years now, and a lot of them are starting to come out. And on some of them, I see a change for a little while, and then I see them get caught up again, getting, locote or whatever. And time you know it, some of them are back on the same bumpy road, I think whenever you get out, that's a new opportunity for a new beginning, You got to hang on to your sobriety if you get out sober, A lot of people get out and they're already strung out and they still got a problem when they get out, But if you don't, man, I suggest that stay away from all that, Make some changes in your life, man, and get some employment, get some training, do something. If not, you're going to end up back in one of those places again, And if you made those changes in your life already and you're already doing, you're doing good and stuff, just remember, man, nothing's promised tomorrow. You could fuck that off just by making a bad decision, man, and doing the wrong thing. Try to stay on track, man, people. Just try to stay free. Try to stay out of those places, man. If you haven't been incarcerated in the past 10 years, it's a different world in there. The 10, let's say 10, 15, 20 years, it's a whole different ball game in there right now. Anyways, be careful. Let's keep an eye on our youngsters, man, in our lives, and try to keep them off this course. Try to trip them up. You know what I mean? So they don't get involved and maybe help them, do the right thing. Not to end up in these places and not to end up living the lives that we live. And those of you who might be involved in anything, man, keep your eyes open, man, because there's always signs. And if you see them, more than likely, something might be going on. Be careful out there, people, man. Stay free. Whatever you got to do it. Stay free. Thanks for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And smash that like button. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. God bless you.